Hey, welcome back to the Ancient Faith Radio Giving Tuesday campaign. I am Bobby Maddox, station manager of Ancient Faith Radio, and joining me today is Stephen Christoforou. You know him from his numerous appearances on General Hospital, Love Boat, and the Hollywood Squares. Welcome, Steve.
Let it be known that I am always the secret square. Good to be here.
Do I have those facts correct? I'm not sure I do.
They're wiki accurate. I'll go with it.
No, Steve is the host, of course, of Be the Bee, and he is also one of the hosts of Pop Culture Coffee Hour. He, along with Christian Gonzalez, Christina Andreessen, and Emma Solak. Steve, it's so great to have you.
It's good to be here. It's good to be here.
Awesome.
I was rocking out to the sort of like the intro music. I'm a little jittery. I'm just trying to stay within the box, but sway if possible.
Yeah, I saw you dancing before we started, so that was enjoyable.
Hello, world.
Well, good. Let me just update everybody on where we are. We have already reached, this is just Friday, 73% of our goal. That's about $36,323, and that is from 376 supporters, which I find most encouraging, Steve, because ministries like ours only can be sustained from the support of a bunch of individual people. You can't rely on angel donations. You can't rely on grants. You need your listeners to step up, and they certainly are.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's just a testament to the quality of what Ancient Faith has been doing over the course of the last, however many years. I lose track of it. It's been a fixture in my life for so long. Full disclosure, I'm not only an Ancient Faith contributor. I am. So am I lagging?
You lagged for a second, but I think you're okay now.
Oh, okay. I was saying, full disclosure, I'm not only an Ancient Faith contributor. I'm a monthly donor. And I'm going to be donating to this as well, because it's just, if you believe in the gospel, if you believe in sharing the gospel with as many people as possible, I mean, Ancient Faith is just like this bazooka of goodness into the world. And to the extent that we can help it, we should.
That is so kind, Steve, that you're going to be donating to our campaign. Let me just remind listeners how to do that. It's really easy. You go to ancientfaith.com /support, or you can go to the homepage and click on the donation tab. It's in the upper right-hand corner. You also have the option to text to give. And for that, you go to 219-244-4245, and you just type in the word give, and you will be taken to a page that will allow you to make your donation there. And remember, this is a matching grant by the Renaissance Fund, up to $50,000. So any money that you give will be doubled. So you give $100, it automatically becomes $200. So please take advantage of this opportunity to really maximize your gift to Ancient Faith Radio. We'd really appreciate it, and this is already a very successful campaign, but I would really love to see us reach our goal by Saturday, and then have everything else just be gravy. So that would be awesome. So
in the spirit of the Thanksgiving season,
that's
the rest
exactly.
of it should be gravy.
By the way, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was super low key,
yeah.
Because 2020.
Right.
So I just I felt like a big boy yesterday. I made a little dinner for my mom, and it was really, really nice. I baked some bread and made some stuff, and a far cry from the normal sort of like Thanksgiving year, but such as 2020.
Yeah.
How about you?
Same here. We had a very small gathering with my immediate family and my parents, but very nice. It was actually very relaxing to have fewer people. And we played games and watched old videos of the kids when they were younger, and it was just a really nice day. Yeah. So, Steve, you mentioned that you are a listener as well as a monthly donor. What has Ancient Faith Radio meant to you over the years?
Oh, yeah. I think different things at different seasons of my life. I first started getting into Ancient Faith Radio around the time that I went to seminary. So for me, it was kind of this nice little like extra support that I had as my life was totally shifting gears. Like, I used to be a lawyer before I went to seminary, and I remember I'm from New York. Seminary up in Boston. Ancient Faith was always like my go-to podcast when I had the 3.5 hour drive back and forth.
Yeah.
So like at that season, I think it was like a source of information. It was a source of inspiration. And I think now it's kind of like just a source of hope, because now that I've been working for the church and kind of like leading ministry in a different way, which has its ups and downs and can be
Sure.
very difficult.
Yeah.
I draw a lot of inspiration from the creativity and the faithfulness and just the wonderful way that ancient faith contributors are writing and creating really faithful stuff that is just like speaking to the world and engaging with the culture. And I don't know. I draw a lot of like hope and encouragement from it.
Yeah, well, you are one of those contributors, obviously, and do such great work for us. What is it like being a contributor to Ancient Faith Radio?
It's weird. It's weird because, like we talked about this, like when Kevin Allen, may his memory be eternal, passed away, how weird it is to have gone from like being a listener
Hmm.
who like looked up to these people that were like saying these wonderful and inspiring and challenging things to now like being one of these voices that this bazooka is putting out into the world, right? Like some of my closest friends are fellow contributors.
Right.
It's still weird. I mean, like, I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just weird to go from like listening to speaking on it. I don't know. Growing up is weird.
Yeah. What has the feedback been like to your various productions? Do you get a sense that you are indeed making an impact on our listeners?
Thank God. Yeah. So for me, the most encouraging thing is actually like because I do a lot of presentations during the course of maybe one every week or so, and it's when I do presentations and talks for like college students in particular, because I'll have these talks with guys and girls that are 19, 20, 21, right, and they'll talk about the way that they grew up watching our videos and listening to our podcasts, right, like a senior today, a college senior that's 22, Be the Bee, which is our oldest program, launched when he or she was 15. So like these young adults, right, have literally grown up watching our stuff and listening to our stuff, and like that for me is this just bizarre, like, oh man, uh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's very humbling, and it just gives me goosebumps to even like think about it. But that's the stuff that keeps me going.
Well, as I mentioned, you do a pop culture coffee hour. In the past, Christian's done the trench. You do Be the Bee, obviously, and there's what's the other one that Christian did for a while? The
So we had We Are Orthodoxy,
Yeah, We Are Orthodoxy, correct?
which is the interview podcast.
Right.
Used to be on a more regular schedule, but honestly, our pool of potential interviewees has
Oh,
kind of dried up. So
sure.
it's become a little bit more occasional. And he's also doing Wandering the Desert every 2 weeks or so, just talking about like the challenges and struggles of the spiritual life. And we might actually bringing a new Bible study to Ancient Faith pretty soon
That's
as well.
right.
So stay tuned
Yes.
for that.
Yeah, yeah. So, we're going to be doing it's a video Bible study, but we're going to take the audio from it and make it into a podcast with the help of our chief content officer, Father Andrew Stephen Damick. And so I really look forward to that. What other plans do you have in the works, whether for Ancient Faith Radio or just for Y2AM in general?
Yeah, that is a great question. The last couple of months have been a little bit sort of like lean because we struggled with some furloughs and some layoffs and things
Hmm.
like that. The next thing that I really would like to be able to do is another podcast for Ancient Faith, God willing, if it comes together. We recently did a ministry training course called Effective Christian Ministry.
Mm.
We've got about 700 people who are in the course, and at some point, when time and resources become available, I'd love to turn that into maybe a podcast. We've had conversations about doing like a live call-in show at some point. And I'd also love to be able to take a lot of that content and turn it into a book with Ancient Faith at
Oh,
some point. But
awesome.
not enough hours in the day at this point. Maybe a 2021 go. We'll see how it works out.
Well, we are always ready to accept your content, Steve. You and Christian and Emma and Christina do such excellent work, and I can't imagine that you would ever submit to us anything subpar. It's all been just fantastic.
Wait for it.
So, what was I going to ask you? Oh, why do you think that those listening right now or those viewing this right now, why should they donate to Ancient Faith Radio, especially given this matching grant?
Yeah. Well, I think the word there, especially, like this is the perfect time to contribute to Ancient Faith Radio, right? Because I know times are tough. 2020 has been a very difficult year for a lot of people, economically, socially, right? Um, The wonderful thing is this is an opportunity to double any sort of contribution that you're able to make. And I think if you're listening to this conversation now, it's because you believe. It's because you believe in the gospel and you believe in our call as Orthodox Christians to share the good news, right? As far and wide as possible. And ancient faith is on the front lines of doing that. I mean, that's the reason why as long as we've been doing our stuff, at Y2AM, like Ancient Faith has always been a media partner that we've partnered with for, from B the B at the beginning now to the new sort of like Bible studies. Like, I mean, honestly, like it's just I like I said, I grew up kind of listening to the stuff that you guys have been
Yeah.
doing. So for me, it's always been a no brainer to partner with you guys on everything that we do. Um, and the wonderful thing, as you were saying before, is that there's so many people out there, the hundreds of thousands of people who are like listening and downloading to podcasts every week. You see that like we're 73% of the goal because almost 400 people have donated. Like you don't have to dig even too deep into the podcast, into your pockets, right? If all of us give a little, that gets doubled by this matching grant. And Ancient Faith ends up with a really like a really nice pot of money to be able to continue like making these resources and to continue to sort of grow and develop and serve more people.
Yeah.
So if you believe, which is why I imagine you're listening to this, now is the perfect time.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And if you are viewing this, if you took the time to hit play or to raise the volume on your Facebook, then you probably are a regular listener and are interested in this campaign. And if you have not donated yet, please do. Again, I really would like to reach our goal before the weekend is out. And then go beyond that. All of this, we don't waste a dime at Ancient Faith Radio. All of it goes directly back into the ministry. It allows us to expand our range of remote studios. And I know, Steve, you are eagerly awaiting the remote studio that we're going to place with you in New York. And so hopefully that will happen soon. It also allows us to, pay Father Andrew's salary, who's doing such a great job as Chief Content Officer.
Oh yeah.
He has provided so much content to us, has brought us new podcasters. He helps us vet podcast submissions. He's such a key component of our staff now, and I don't even know how we did things before him. So, all of this money, is going to be used well. And the more of it that we have, the better the ministry is going to be. Steve, just for those who don't know, we've been saying Y2AM, and there may be some listeners who are not familiar with Y2AM. Can you explain what it is?
Sure. So Y2AM is our abbreviation for Youth and Young Adult Ministries. So I direct the Department of Youth and Young Adult Ministries for the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of America. And about 7 years ago, when I graduated seminary and started working, we decided to kind of rethink the way that we approach ministry, and part of that rethinking was sort of symbolized by just no longer calling it the Department of Youth and Young Adult Ministries and Office of Camping Ministries. So we kind of tried to approach the culture of our work and the culture of what we were doing a little bit differently. And yeah, so we kind of rebranded, so to speak, in the summer. And then Be the Bee started shortly after that. And, all the sort of media stuff that you were talking before, Bobby, the media stuff that we've been doing, curricula, events, retreats, this new training course that we've been doing. Yeah. So that's who we are.
Yeah, and you used to be an attorney in a prior incarnation, and then you ended up here at the GOA. How did that transition take place?
Yeah, that's a very deep and existential question that goes back a long ways. I think from the time I was a kid, I had this kind of this desire, or you can call it calling, I suppose, to do something for the church, whatever that meant. But then I got a little full of myself, and I figured I wanted to go into politics one day and save the world. And so I went to law school as part of that, like that process. And while I was in law school, just had a lot of re sort of wrestling with this old calling that I had when I was a kid. The thing about law school, though, is it tends to be expensive. So when I graduated, I had a heck of a lot of debt, which I'm still paying off. And so I worked for a couple of years, but I woke up one day and I was like, I can't say no to this anymore. So I ended up going to seminary. Didn't know what I was going to do out of seminary, but I actually met my former supervisor at Vespers one night, and he made me an offer, brought me onto the Department of Youth and Young Adult Ministries, and then the rest just kind of happened.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, let me just reset again. if you want to donate to the Giving Tuesday campaign, this matching gift from the Renaissance Fund, it's very easy to do so. Excuse me. Go to ancientfaith.com/support, or go to the Ancient Faith Radio homepage and click on the donate tab in the upper right-hand corner. It will take you to the same place, and you make your donation, and then automatically it'll be doubled. And I truly hope that by the end of the day today that we are over 75%, and that before the weekend is out, we have reached this goal, and then start raising money even beyond it. So, Steve, is there anything else that you'd like to add before we wrap this little conversation up?
No, I mean, I'm just going to reiterate again because I think it's important, just to show, like, I've got skin in the game. I'm a monthly donor to Ancient Faith Radio. The moment I was kind of saving it, the moment we're done with this conversation, I'm going to make my donation. This isn't just talk. I mean, Ancient Faith really has been an important part of my spiritual development over the years, and has been a really important part of the work that I hope God has been calling me to do over the last couple of years. I believe in it. And that's reflected on my monthly credit card statement. And so, it's not just blowing smoke. Like, this is important to me. And, like I said, if the gospel is important to you, if making sure that as many people hear the good news as possible in this really faithful and creative way, because again, like especially over the last couple of years, the content of Ancient Faith just continues to get better and more creative and more diverse, right? It's wonderful. This is the time. This is the time. Give 10, it becomes 20, right? Give 25, it becomes 50. If we all pitch in a little bit, we don't have to dig that deep, because again, 2020 has been tough.
Yeah, you're really good at math, Steve.
What's that?
You're really good at math.
That's because I've got my calculator. You can't see it.
All right. Well, I thank you so much for joining me.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Happy Thanksgiving. God bless everybody.
Yeah. And just so you know, this afternoon at 2:00 p.m. Central, we'll be doing this again. That time with Bill Marianis. So if you know anything about him, he's a very energetic person, and it should be a very entertaining conversation. So please come back. We'll do the countdown again prior to the interview, and it should be a really good time. So thank you all for watching, and thanks again to Steve for joining us. And have a good day. I hope it's a good, relaxing day for you post Thanksgiving, and enjoy your turkey sandwiches before you hop back on the fast. All right, so we'll see y'all later. All right, bye.